I'm sitting in front of the Huaca Pucllana. And Huaca Pucllana, I made a small, my video was corrupted, so I had to do the voiceover after I came back to the hotel. So I'm doing it voiceover right now. And this place is known as the Lima Center, which is the in most ancient history of Lima. According to Wikipedia, they say 280 to 700 AD, but my analysis shows that this is a pre-Christian site, way before Christianity. So it has to be at least 100 years before Christianity was even invented. This is the place it is. I'm sitting outside just waiting for my turn to come in to enter the museum, and they have barricaded the museum across everything. So the when they barricade the museum, what they do is that they prevent it from further entrance or further uh, going inside without a permission, because they feel that the mud bricks will be destroyed if more and more people come into the place. Now, the why I say it's a pre-Christian history, it's a history which was more connected to Sanatan Dharma than anything else, is the because of the nature of the directions. I'm simply going by the Vastu directions. Now, Vastu directions is the thing which qualifies any place to be a religious place or a residential or a commercial place, because the Vastu orientation for all these places is different. And I'm one thing I'm strikingly finding out is that everything, if you look at this place where I am in right now, this place is actually built as per Vastu. It's a religious place. It's not a place for any kind of like a administrative place or a king's quarters. It is a place for the priests. So it's designed for priestlyhood. And the most surprising thing about this place is that the dimensions are exactly as per the Hindu Vastu signs. The directions are southwest, northeast, west, south, and everything has been done accordingly. Now, a lot of these places have been occupied by the restaurants, by churches, by residential buildings all around this place. And this civilization is older than anything. It's a pre-Lima civilization or a Lima civilization. One thing good about them is that there is a sequences like the Incas is the most recent, then Ichma, then after that is Wadi, and then Lima. That's what they record so far, but they have not recorded any prehistory here because they don't know. This was the religious place from before. So what it shows is that the entire Peru or Lima is a spiritual place. It was designed, everything was designed in a very spiritual way. Now, most of the commentaries which you see on Wikipedia and other places is that these places were the clergymen were the elitist people. The same thing is done by the church nowadays. Church is the elitist organization. The people who are at the top of the clergy in the church are the elitist people, and they control everybody, including politicians. In fact, one thing about Lima is or Peru is that they have to take approval for everything else from the Spanish government or the Spanish church over there. Still, it is there. Even the language they speak is Spanish, is not the traditional languages. There are 24, three official, but there are 24 different languages in Lima, in Peru, and there are many more languages which are the dialects of those 24 languages. So everything is colonial, elitist. So just by calling this place as elitist, it doesn't serve the good purpose for them, because it actually undermines the history of the Peruvians. So this place was a religious place. It was a administrative center like any other place, because right now the shopping malls have replaced the religious places. And Peru being a traditional country, indigenous country, and I would like in India, just like in India, temples were the centers of everything. And the same thing in the South America, in the Peru. The oldest part of the South American continent is Peru, and the civilization has crossed from there to south and north, both sides. In fact, if you look at the cultural cross similarities, the Incas, the Incas is the latest one. All these Incas and Mayans and the Aztecs, all these people, they say they shared the same heritage. In the Peruvian culture, was north and south across the entire South America. And I would say some parts of it was related to through the Amazon to the east coast also of South America, which is Brazil today. And all these linkages can be easily established if someone, like people like us who understand the Vedic culture, and we can build a story for them, and we can actually emphasize on how the connection to the ancient Vedic civilization was always there in the Peruvian culture. Now, one thing I'll tell you about this place is it's in the Miraflores district, right in the center of Lima, and also it is used by the religious places. I'm repeating myself again, and this place was to actually very close to the water sources also. So people may say the water coming from the hills were actually being utilized, and the negative views in the Wikipedia is that the water for the controlling the to control the water, these people had created all these things. Now I will take you on a tour now to the museum first, because once we go to the museum, then we will see a lot more things here. So I'm walking in the museum, and I'm also seeing the different implements. They show the wedges to cut the food and other things, and the symbols of later civilization, particularly Inca civilization. All these different decorative items generally, and you will see a lot of tools being there, and they're showing all the pictures of how the people are making bamboos, and musical instruments are there. So civilization is pretty advanced. Also, one thing you'll be very surprised to see here, a lot of people walking along with me, so you'll see their shadows also, is the pottery. The pottery is actually Inca period pottery, which is very methodical, very designish, and some parts of Lima pottery is also there. Even the graves were found with the potteries in them. Now, generally, it's a Vedic custom that when you bury a clergy person or a priest, you always bury him in a standing position or sitting position, and you put all those instruments, all these utensils and other things around them. So this is what it shows here pretty much, and it is like a and like this is something very interesting. This one is the different instruments for writing and counting are also there. Look at the cloth here. The cloth is very artistic designing. It just shows that civilization was very advanced even at that time. People may say that the civilization was brought over by the Europeans, but it doesn't look like that here. It looks very clearly that the civilization was pretty advanced, their cloth, their designs. Now, these are the samples which are being shown at a much later period, not exactly the Lima period, because that period is almost pre-Christian era. People may say it's a 200 BC, 300 BC. I would I would go much older than that. This civilization is existing from the time immemorial, and there is no. I mean, just right when the Earth was created, the civilization also came into being, and it's a very old civilization. And particularly, we have seen syncretism everywhere. That everybody tries to synchronize with the Christian or the European version of identity. But here we see, like after I come out of the museum, I'm going to show you a little bit glimpses of what is there outside here, around in the courtyard before I enter the main place. I have to because I have to wait for the guide. One thing very funny is that you cannot go without the guide. The reason is you cannot go without the guide is because they fear that some vandalism can happen, or actually the main reason is that the main narrative should be told. People should not be able to find out the narrative, especially coming from the non-Christian histories like Hindu history, which is the most oldest history and the most civilized history in the universe today. So they don't want to do that. They want to keep people like us, who have the narrative, who have the information from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other aspects in Puranas. We are the people who know the background of all this information. Now you will find a lot of, I've been told just now, a lot of fish utensils were there. People were eating fish and other things in this place. Can be much later also. It cannot be the because this area has a temperate climate. Like doesn't rain over here much, and so this area can have, but it has a good greenery around that also, because the food must be brought here somewhere. And the corn is a very common corn being made. The corn quality is also very good. So it is not that the civilization just started now. The corn was being cultivated, corn was being eaten, and it is the food of the land. So it is a very commonly available food, and this was also used here. This place has been constructed now. Most of the tunnel, there are a lot of tunnels under this surface, under these buildings, and those tunnels they go to all over the city. And the Spaniards, when they came here, after they looted everything, they closed down all the tunnels. And from my face, you can make out that I am actually very tired. I had jet lag going on, and so I'm tired. So, but still, nonetheless, this place is a historical treasure, but the story which these archaeologists find out, I always say archaeologists are employed in this entire area. These archaeologists, it's an active site. People are still working on the site. There are some teams who are already working on the northeast side and also on the southeast side. But archaeologists will tell you the story which their masters or people who pay them want to tell a story. But if you want to really find out the story, we have to really go to Puran, Ramayana, Mahabharata, even for the telling the story of Peru, because those books, especially Ramayana, has more information through the Sugriv's travels and other places where great rishis are explaining who was there, who was doing tapasya in the Andes. So this is Udagiri mountain. We already know. I have already described you when we started with Candelabra that how Candelabra mountain ranges are called Andes. And the very good thing about this place is, so far, it is like you can feel the spiritual vibrations there. And if you do your mantra there, you will see that there is a lot more to be lot more to be felt in this area. uh, like just like you go to Vrindavan in India and other places, you feel spiritual potency over there. So I'm going to start my tour right from here, and as I start my tour from here, and I will take you through each and every aspect of this particular construction here. And one of the uh, important things, another important thing I'll tell you, this is a mud construction. There is very little rains happen in Lima, even though it is close to the ocean. And the muds, like these are the different walls here. These are different muds here, and there are a lot of there is a noise in the background, so ignore the noise here, which is coming because of something in the back. They're doing some construction. I muted it. It's not going to go away, but nonetheless. So this place, as I'm going through the bricks, you can see the vertical bricks here, and these vertical bricks are purposely designed to take care of the earthquakes, because in case there is an earthquake happens, we can actually the system, the buildings can sustain themselves. So part of it is earthquakes, part of it is other horizontal construction, vertical brick construction. There are drains over here which are built next to the brick wall. And also there is a another aspect which is there in the direction. If you see, the all these are places for the, it looks like a large building complex, different residential quarters and different places where people can go. So this is a one residential area, large residential area. And in the previous time, this place would have been covered horizontally on the roof also. So it's not that this place is just functioning, which is looks like a open area. There was no living quarters. This is the living area. These are all the rooms of large rooms, so a large group of people can be inside this area. So as I move on, you will see the vertical bricks for the earthquakes. So you can say it is a very scientifically designed building. It is not a building which is whimsically designed. It is designed for quality people, and it is also designed for large public access. So people can come in, park their chariots or park their horses, remove shoes. In every place there is a separate place for removing shoes, like you cannot walk in with the shoes. So it also shows it is very scientific. This is the area which is a large open area for people can come and 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 put all their things out there, park here, assemble here. This is assembly area. And if you see the directions here in the entire assembly area, you will be noticing that a lot of people can be accommodated in this area. I purposely made the video faster because it was very slow. You would have been bored with such a large information here. Now, as we are walking up the stairs, you will notice something, that there are a lot of people who are actually going to see all the different places. The guide is particularly telling me that generally this place is there, is yellow color, and the generally the information is, the entire structure is made in yellow. And you can see the city landscape behind me, and also you'll see the guard is going to tell you which areas they're actively working. Now there are different lot of different areas here, which clearly show number of pillars being put here for the kitchen, and also the other amenities like clothing and other things are also being kept here. So we are on the top of it. Below, everything has been covered up. Rooms have been closed down because of various reasons. We don't know the reasons exactly, but various reasons the rooms have been closed down. And it looks like, so the word pyramid is an archaeological term. This place is a temple. Temple is the actual purpose of this place, and you can see different deities or pillars are being kept there, which are exactly 12 in number. And I'm on the top of this entire temple, and you can see through the holes that this place had deep structures. It is not a filled up structure; it is a hollow structure, like just like any other building. Places for coming down, places for going up. Now, this kind of sophistication can only be had in a civilized society. So the colonial propaganda that the entire Peruvian civilization was not civilized is not correct. And like this, they have done in every single place. Like the same thing. See, when I went to Vatican, I also found all the things were kept in the museum over there, and the museum was filled with artifacts from South America, Africa, like typical Christian conquest of the world. It was all showing, the artifacts were showing. Now this place, the same story is being made here, which is being taught in the schools, taught to everyone here. These are the different, towards the end of the pyramid here, to end of the temple. I call it a temple. We are on the southwest side of the temple, and we are out in the open, and we are going to go towards the some kind of animals area they have kept here. This was the public place where we went up from, and these are the places where the kitchens are being kept. Just like any other Indian Hindu Vedic temple, the kitchens are dug into the ground for baking rotis and other things like flatbread. So people had flour. It was a civilized place, and the directions and the layout shows that this place was pretty advanced. And this is the hard structure you can see down, which actually shows it's a temple. And it says it's a structure which is with a proper flooring. So, and they're showing. Thank you for watching this video, and give valuable feedback, subscribe and share. Thank you very much.